So hello friend, welcome back to my another video. In this we would be going, this is the part 7 of total part 12 that I have decided, and in this video we would be reviewing about another performance scenario. And before we go for a demo and a doc review, let's get into the next slide. There we would be describing what are the components which we would be covering in this performance. Okay, so we would be actually looking at the OEM cloud control, SQL tuning advisor, SQL profile, and the DBMS underscore explain dot display. So what is the OEM cloud control? Which is OEM stand for Oracle Enterprise Manager. Cloud control means it is now has an option to support the database running in the Oracle cloud, and it is why it is called Enterprise Manager. With this, apart from the Oracle, one can also monitor different Oracle products from this. SQL Tuning Advisor, this is one of the features of Oracle database where when it is enabled, it takes one of the SQL ID, it does its analysis based on the AWR and ADDM report, and suggest that what needs to be done, so that the what needs to be done in terms like whether to gather the stats, create an index, reorg it, and the different set of advice. And it if you and it also, if you see it in the OEM, it also enables you to apply those fixes on the SQL. What is the SQL profile? So it is a part of the tuning advisor. So before it starts anything, if we do it manually, SQL profile has to be created, and in that profile, basically it's a tag, and then in that profile all the things are done. So now goes to DBMS underscore explain dot display. So now the question is, what does this do? It helps in generating the explain plan of the query. Okay, so let's try to see what we have in for demo. Okay, so it says like launch Oracle Enterprise Manager control cloud control, and I've already done it here. So let me just log out and then re-log in it, and let's close this, and let's see. Yep, I have my this password and all these things set up. And if you wanted to know how to start this service, I have another video in my channel, you can just look into it. Okay, and I have some details about it. Okay, so once this is done, from the target database menu, select the ORCL database, but our database name is DemoDB. So what we are going to go, target and databases. Okay, so we have a DemoDB which is up and running. Okay, so if you see a symbol and I hover it, it's a pluggable database, it's a pluggable. And okay, so this is the one I selected, this which is where we would be running the SQL tuning advisor. So auto refresh, let me put it to 50 seconds. Okay, 15 seconds. Okay, now from the performance menu, select top activity. So this is the my performance, select top activity. Okay, so yeah, another thing is with cloud control 13c, we do not have that top activity. Either we can go to performance home here, or you can go to performance hub. Okay, so just try to see. Okay, it won't allow, so let me go as a sys and log in as a sysdba. Okay, I don't want it to be saved. Okay, auto refresh is disabled here. Okay, so I just refreshed it, but don't worry, we will be reaching it. Okay, so basically we need to go to ASH analytics inside the performance hub. Okay, right, so let's see what this document says. Okay, So it says go to the top activity. Basically we are trying to see the active session details. Okay, and yes, there's nothing. Okay, so right now there is not much data here, but let's proceed and we will see. So it says connect to the demo user and create the test profile table. So let's connect to demo user. Okay, before I go, let me show you my environment, which is like select name from v dollar database, select sys timestamp from dual. Okay, and then armin target slash report schema. Okay, you get the further details. I have a demo underscore data table space of 2 gig, and I would be doing all my activities here. Let me come out of it. Okay, let me get the screen clear. Okay, and the next thing is says connect as a demo. Okay, let's connect demo slash oracle. Okay, we connected, and we just need to create one table. Create table test underscore profile. Okay, okay, just a second. Test underscore profile, id and a number, id number number. Okay, so this table got created. Now we are going to insert a row into the table, create an index, and then gather stats on the table. So let's review this query here. Okay, yeah. So what we are doing, we are declaring, we are beginning from 1 I in 1 to 1000 loop insert into test profile value. So we are running this for 10,000 times, and let's see here. Okay, so we did it, and let me refresh it. There should be some data here because we did an insert. Okay, active session. So basically this is what it is. I think, yep. Okay, so what is happening here, if you see here, if I scroll it, these values below get changed. So if I go like this, you know, I can get it. So I can just scroll it up, you know. Let's cover everything. So I get all the details, you know, what is happening, and also I need to scroll this. Okay, can it be done? Okay, let me refresh it. Okay, let's enable auto refresh for 15 seconds. Okay, this is done, and I think this is a quick activity. We are going to create an index with the name test underscore idx on test profile id. Okay, so how do we do that? We create index test underscore idx on test underscore profile, and I go for id. Okay, this process is very fast. Then I'm going to gather an stats here, and since I'm right now into current user, so it will capture it. Had it been into, you know, this table had been, you know, another user, I have to put the username here. Now see, execute a costly SQL statement in a loop which will disable the use of the index on the test profile table. So that is the declaration. Let's see. It says I'm declaring x as a number. I'm running for 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4, like almost 500,000, and then I'm looping up, and then I'm giving a conditions, or basically like a hint that do not use the index. Okay, so basically I'm doing to select into x from where id is. Okay, so basically I'm telling do not use the index. Already the index are in place. Okay, let's run this. Okay, so it's running now. Now it's saying while this is running, let's try to okay, see what happened in the. Okay, so if you see here, there was a CPU uses. Okay, and we are not. Okay, so this is all about the active session part. Okay, but if you look, this ran for less than 0.01 of the active session, and this is my CPU users. Let me just make it bit small here so that we get more better result. Okay, yeah. So if you see here, 100% activity was on CPU for 0.2. Maybe what I can do, put it like this. Let's see when can it work. Just try to show you some spike here. Okay, numeric overflow, so it's not taking that much of value. Let's see when can this work. Okay, something is happening. Let's see, and let's do an auto refresh. So if you see here, the CPU user just went by 0.3. Okay, and still it's running. Okay, but before it was like 0.2, and this is the query, which is yeah. So if you see here, this is the value, it's 1.2, and it was all on a CPU, nothing on the graph side, and we are just running the one session here. And if I just click on this SQL ID, and this is still running, that's great. Let's see. Okay, yep. So if you see here, further details of this. Okay, let's open this and try to see okay, so it do not have further details, but we see it ran from this 92.68% and it's still running actually, and so before we go here, let's go to the performance home and just yeah. So if you see here in this, this process is totally on a CPU and still this is running. That's great. And I do not have an, okay, let me refresh it for you, and you see the spikes here. Okay, it's all on a CPU. Okay, and this is the throughput and the other I mean to say other details, but if you see, this is still running. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me put Control C. The objective was to show you that the runtime, the green color indicates high CPU utilization. Select the query, and in the action field select schedule. Okay, and then okay, so let's do one thing. Let's run this again, and let's go to my performance hub, or maybe let me go to the SQL monitoring. Okay, so if you see here, this is still running. Okay, and if I go to the ASH analytics and click on this particular query, which is still running, and as per this document, select the query, and in the action field, okay, so let's go back here in the performance hub. Okay, basically we need to go to the ASH hub here. Okay, this query is still running, which is okay, which is good actually. Now the problem is, like, this document which I'm referring is an old document, and I just wanted to see, does I have an option for a SQL tuning advisor here or no, or else I can get this SQL ID here, which is this. Let me copy this And okay, so it says that tunes. Okay, so we got it. Let me show you. So okay, uh, let's come on back to the ASH analytics, and as I select this query, I have a create a SQL tuning set, a tune SQL. So I said let's tune SQL. Okay, it got me to schedule SQL tuning advisor, correct? And this query is still running. That is good. And click go. And create and schedule a SQL tuning task. And click on submit. Okay. Scope. Okay, let me submit it. So basically, I need to choose all. Okay. So this says the SQL tuning advisor task is in progress. And one not found. Okay. There is no recommendation. Why? Because it didn't find. Okay, so let's try to run one again. Okay, if I select this and so let's say I do a create SQL tuning task. Okay, I don't need to do that. I go back to my ASH analytics and this query is still running. That's good. Let's see. Okay, I say tune SQL and I click submit. I chose all and I'm going to do it immediately. Let's see. Create a so it already created new SQL tuning task. Okay, so this type of SQL tuning task not supported. So this is my SQL text. I think yes, I was okay. So it at least gave some info. Okay, now let me cancel this and get back here where I reduce it to 50,000. I think it's going to be quite fast, but let's see. Let's see how it works out. Copy and then paste it. Okay, so it got completed very fast. Let me go into the Performance Hub report where such as analytics, and once I go here, I have this query which completed very fast. Okay, so okay, so the objective is to click on a tune SQL and let's submit it. It already created a new SQL test and now it's executing the task. Time limit is run, so there is no recommendation because it didn't turn out. Okay, let's see what's happening here. So if we go by here, the optimizer did return that you can create a SQL profile and then okay, yes, that's what it is. And it says there is a if you use a new execution plan, explain plan, the benefit is 19.3%, and then it says compare execution plans. Okay, and left is this, right is this. Then this is the original explain plan and this is the new explain plan here. Then you give your confirmation, you create your SQL profile, okay, and click implement button. Let's try to run this explain plan. I know we are not able to generate here, but that's not a problem here. So it says explain and then we go for a display. we see it's going for access full. Okay, yes, that's correct, because in our case this profile could not get created and implemented, but here this hasn't been implemented. Even though it says no indexes, it is still going for, and then it says that for this particular, this explain plan, this SQL profile was used. Okay, so let me reiterate what we did. Okay, first of all, we launch Enterprise Manager Cloud Control 13c, and then we created a table, we created an index on it, then we ran a exhaustive select query in loop with a hint not to use index. Okay, so in the time when it ran, those details came into OEM, and in the OEM we select that query, we clicked on the tune SQL, and we did it immediately. It went on and it suggested that you need to create a SQL profile, and in that, before you implement it, it gave an option to compare those profiles, and it did so that if you implement a SQL profile, there would be a 91.3% improvements in the output. So again, the SQL profile was implemented with a plan to use an index, and then again we ran the query. Basically we did an explain plan with a hint that do not use an index, but when we ran it and generated the plan, we saw that index is used. Okay, and in the predicates, in the explain plan section, it shows that the SQL plan profile has been used. Okay, so that's from this presentation, and we will meet you again in the next performance tuning session.